spot that I was about to show on the clip, he's talking about black journalism, right? Black journalism is really, really important to the black community.
Well, the reason I think that's important, first of all, the reason why I think it's important we do this here is because when Clarence Avant passes, look, you see stories in Deadline, you see the rap, the trades, but frankly, you're not going to see mainstream media pay much attention. What you just said in terms of his impact, the things that he did, you're right. Why is it important to have a 3, 4, 5, 8, 10-part docuseries, if you will, is because when someone like Clarence Avant passes away, all of that rich history is gone. So unless the story is told, then no one knows. Unless the book is written, then no one knows. And so people need to understand whether we're talking about the Michael Jackson stuff and the Whitney Houston and Janet Jackson and teaming them with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis and again, the Hank Aaron stories. I mean, all of a sudden, like literally over a 5-6 decade period, we're talking about somebody who had his hand in the middle of so much. I was watching the documentary today and completely forgot when Biggie gets killed. He sits here and works on the plane to get Diddy out of L.A. to make sure he doesn't get killed. And Nelson George was
how crazy
said,
is
hey,
that?
He was the one who said,
how crazy is that Clarence Avant or Avant got Diddy out of L.A. when Biggie got killed in 96, 97, right? I think that's crazy, but nobody's really talking about this guy.
We're going to fly from L.A. to Miami, then Miami to New York, because there are people at the airports who were waiting to kill Diddy. And so you're sitting there going, wait a minute, what? And then you hear Snoop Dogg talking about him, T.I. Commented as well. And so it's crazy the multiple generations of artists who he impacted.
There's another thing I wanted to show to you all.
This name kept coming up. Who is this guy that I keep hearing about?
He wasn't there, but he was right there.
Record. Now, for some of y'all younger folks, that first guy is Lionel Richie, multi-platinum artist, right? Part of Motown. If y'all don't know Brick House or the Commodores, that's where Lionel Richie comes from.
This is Hollywood. Civil rights, anything that had to do with the rights of people.
That told you everything you needed to know about him.
He was fearless, man. Absolutely fearless.
We needed to know him because he was.
Now, if y'all don't know that the one guy that was Quincy Jones, I want to let y'all know right now, I want to stand on this. Quincy Jones is the greatest producer to ever live. All right? That's all I got to say.
The gatekeeper. He knew everyone, everybody.
Oh man, he was too fly. One to help another, he became a powerhouse.
There's the power that needs the spotlight, but there's also the power behind the scenes.
The guy's a rock in every way.
Agent, manager,
Orchestrator.
this mysterious figure everybody respected.
You only find one of those people.
I'm like, how was this guy doing it?
Sometimes I say to myself, how in the did I get involved in all this? I don't let nothing get in my way about anything that I want to do.
Clarence was an African-American man in Hollywood, defying what Hollywood was supposed to be.
Black people are going to move forward. No matter what business he was in, he never wavered from his purpose.
Seeing that things were fair. He said, would you like any help putting MCA into the black music business? I said, yes. He says, well, that's good, because I'm going to tell you what to do anyway.
I would hear about people that were in very serious situations when it came to life. And they would say, the only person that can help you with this is Clarence Avant.
Clarence is the bridge from a time where there was no opportunity to a time where doors began to open.
My brother! He understands the bigger that we are together, the bigger we will be as a culture. He told me
Henry Aaron would not be Henry Aaron if not for Clarence Avant.
that I ought not to let you just walk on me.
The message that I received from Clarence was,
Now, I got to talk about this, right? Because that one picture of the guy with the baseball, that was Hank Aaron. And there was one story that I just discovered that when Hank Aaron preceded or surpassed Babe Ruth in home run hits, Clarence Avant made sure that Hank Aaron was getting endorsement deals and everything else before anybody else said anything. He did it just out of his own volition because he wanted to make sure that Hank Aaron was taken care of. Yes, Stephanie, you have to watch it now. Everybody should watch this.
Let's just think about those kids that's looking up to me.
The person that's responsible for your transition, that's the key to changing your life.
He became that mentor.
Now, if y'all don't know that song, that's Bill Withers, the man with the gray hair, right? Do anybody know Grandma's Hands? Or Use Me Up, right? All classics. I'm probably showing my age just a little bit, but yes, Eunice, please watch it. Yes. I should probably, you know what? Maybe I should do a watch party. Would y'all, for y'all in Philly, would y'all want to do a watch party? I'm younger than you, Nicole. So if I'm old, you older.
That's the key to changing your life.
He became that mentor for us all. He became that godfather.
Remember the first time someone ever said, "You're the Godfather"?
Well, people call me that. People can call me anything. People have called me a son of a bitch, so what?
All right, so listen, y'all watch that. And to me, you know, I'm sure nobody's perfect, right? But when we talk about this thing called Black wealth, when we talk about this thing called Black community, we always have to make sure we look at everything, right? And we make sure that we're working in our best interest, but also in the best interest of our brothers and sisters as well. Because there is no us without them. And from what I gather, I didn't know the man, but like I said, I was very much impressed when this came out in like 2018, 2019, that everybody had something positive to say about him. Everybody, even in his death, everybody had something positive to say about him. And so when you put in this much work, it shows when you're passing. Because you know, when you're gone, people going to talk crazy about you. That's just how it goes. Now, Alexandra was here earlier, and we were having a conversation on Instagram earlier. And I had shared a piece on there talking about how I felt Clarence Avant is the Black Godfather, right? Or he's the Godfather of Black wealth. And so she said, well, no, not Black wealth, everything. And so it got me to thinking, like, when y'all hear me say Black wealth, what do y'all think about? Do y'all just think it's about money? Is it anything else? Because I've done a lot of shows on wealth, the meanings of wealth. I get really nerdy with things sometimes that might drive y'all crazy, but the root word of wealth, right? It's an English word, old English word. Wealth, or weal, however you want to put it, means health and well-being. So when you say wealth, it's about your health, it's about your money, it's about your overall well-being, right? It's not just about money. Health is wealth, right? Because if you are, you know, sickly and you can't get out of that and you got a bunch of money, you would probably trade every dollar you got to have good health, right? So again, when I say Black wealth, I'm not just talking about amassing money. I'm talking about everything. And so if y'all notice on this show, I will talk about fitness. I will talk about politics. I will talk about jobs, right? Everybody says you have to have a business in order to get wealth. But, you know, I have these conversations sometimes and I'll be like, well, you do realize the richest Black man in this country did have a job at one point. Now he's a billionaire. What does that tell you? Your story isn't just defined by a job you had or a setback you had. Your story isn't defined until it's all said and done, when you have no more breath. So every chance you get, every day you're able to get up and do things, you're writing your story. You're creating your legacy. So when I talk about Black wealth and how this man is the Godfather of Black wealth, is that he didn't just think about himself and making money. He thought about others. Like you saw Bill Withers in there. He signed Bill Withers. He broke Bill Withers. He discovered Bill Withers. I'm a big Bill Withers fan, by the way. Right? But it wasn't just about him. It was about others. And there's like mad stories about him helping so many, many others. It's not just about that. So when I am talking about Black wealth, I can't speak for anybody else, but when I am talking about Black wealth, I'm talking about everything.